I'm sorry. Cool. All right. So here's what you won't need. Here's what you'll need, sorry. Notepad and a pen. I think you've all got it. I've even got one here in case there's some notes that I need to make, just in case. I always have it with me. Come with an open mindset because um, how do I say this? You might have been a little bit closed off in the phone call that we had because you didn't know anything about me. But now you may have done a bit more research and we've had a chat. You might be a bit more open to the things that I'm coaching, which is good. But if we'd only just met, try not to be because you never learn anything. The willingness to learn is how you'll grow. So that needs to be on there as well. Receptive of change, which is kind of similar. But I put that on there because I speak to a lot of people and they're very scared to change things that they've done in the past that's got them where they're at. And you have to learn something new if you're stuck to get that next level of results. But we don't want to. We want to keep doing what's already worked because we know it works. And we don't want to stop doing that in case our results go backwards. So receptive of change. Water, if you see me drink, I always have it in the car on my desk. It's over there. It's by my bed. It's everywhere. If you see me drink, drink, and then yeah, you'll need your ears. What you won't need is a know-it-all attitude. You know who you are. Because again, if you're a bit closed off, you can't learn new stuff, and you're obviously on this call because you want to learn something, or I've suggested you might get something from it. Um, so being closed off, I was this way at one point many years ago. Pointless. I didn't learn anything. Now I'm very open. I might learn something on this call off one of you. Who knows? That's why I've got my notebook. I can then tell one of my clients, put it into practice. Um, yeah, or if you're after a bit of a quick fix, that is probably not the way that I would recommend to do it. And if you were looking to work with me in the future, this is not what we do. Being non-receptive of change, kind of same, isn't it? Just being closed off. You won't need any alcohol. And why have I put nose there? Oh, because you need your ears, not your nose. That's hilarious. Move on. Shut up. If you go, just put the word ears in the chat box for me, then I know you're still with me and you're still listening and you're not bored. That'd be great. You did it as well. Great. Okay, why stick around to the end? This is what we'll learn. Okay, how to drop body fat if that's your thing, while still eating the food you love. That sounds all right, doesn't it? Because there are coaches out there that are very restrictive, and I don't necessarily think you need at the level that we're at to be that restrictive, unless you've got a photo shoot coming up, which I've done, which you can be more restrictive, but it's not that sustainable. And some coaches just coach you one way because that's all they know. Just look out for that. How to figure out how to train to suit your lifestyle. So if you've got children and you've got t less time than, say, me, who hasn't got children, maybe you work. I mean, I can work 12, 13 hours a day, but I own a gym, so I can be in it. There's no excuse for me not to train. If you don't have the luxury of living and doing all your work in the gym, you may only have certain times you can get to it, and there might only be certain times a week that you can get to it. So I get that. And then number three, diary management, which is the biggest thing I think. But again, I can't go too specific. I can only give you some, this is what I've done or what I've done with other people. And then there's a bonus for three of you if you want it at the end, which is part of my coaching program. But let's ignore that for now. Here's a little bit of information about me in case you don't know, just because I think it's nice to learn a little bit about the person that's trying to give you advice. You might have seen some of these pictures and information on my socials and stuff, but I've coached thousands men and women. I only really look after women now, especially online. It happened by accident, and then I got really good at it, and now I just created my own business out of it. There's lots of before and after pictures that you can see on my Instagram page. 2007 was where it all began. Now you know how old I am. I've been employed for 10, I think it's 11 years now. I don't think I would go back to regular employment ever again. So I've been doing fitness for almost 20 years, at various different levels, by the way, like gym management, class instructor, and now PT and now online coach. And these women here are the reasons I think that I stay working with women. My nana, who isn't with us anymore, and my mum, that's a trip I took her on 2 years ago. She's doing okay. And then my crazy sister, who is the opposite of me, doesn't train, she smokes and drinks, but I still love her. So, okay, here's a couple of people that I've looked over online or face to face. This is Sarah, mum of two, training with zero results. This is the left-hand side. Can you see this? This is where she was. Eating her feelings. We've all done that at some point, for sure. She was very injury prone because she wasn't training correctly, correct form. She was very unmotivated because of these things, and she had very low self-esteem. And at that time, she was single. She's not anymore. She's actually in better shape than that because she's carried on. And she's gone on to other things. She's actually gone to last year. She went on stage in a bikini and did that really lean, bikini. What's it called? You know where they pose on stage. I don't coach that. She went to a different coach. But anyway, she went into other stuff. Here's Louise, who's 40. I think she was actually 38 at the time. Mum of one. This is very big, like baby weight. Struggling to get started. Had no idea about exercise or what to do. She had these were what she said to me. No one seems to want to help me, and no one's making it very easy for me to sign up with them. So I did. She wanted to get rid of her baby fat, and we did. And she's in better shape now. And this is Antonia. This is an online one. She hated gyms before me. She's training in gyms now. Never worked with the calories or macros. Didn't even know what it was. I put sponge because she just soaked up everything that I said. And sustainable physique. So you would think she's pretty good at a starting point, to be fair, but she got into a better position just by doing the things that I would do with most of you lot, maybe just at a slightly different level. Maybe you're feeling a bit lost or unsure where to start, like Lindsay was. Maybe you're sick of lack of results or you're plateauing because what you're doing isn't working anymore, like Jess was. She's a lot younger than clients I take on now, but she was just training, just cardio, just cardio, just cardio. And then we're like, why don't you do some weights? Ta-da. Cool. Maybe you're not sure what or how to eat, which we're going to cover in a bit. This lady here, 50, 58. So a little bit older than my normal demographic, but vegan. And I was just like, well, let's see what we can do. Weight loss. So I just coached on what to do and how to eat better, and just I had to learn because at that time, that was a few years ago, I didn't know that much about vegan diets, so I had to learn something new to put into place. Maybe you've got a lack of trial and error, or you're a bit impatient. If you laugh at me saying the word impatient, it's because you are. You know you are. So yeah, we can sometimes just have to take a little bit of time to put some in. Just like we had a limited time here with Vicky, but not the best picture, but possibly making it harder than it needs to be. Oops. Like self-sabotage, like Lynn was here before. Just drinking too much, really, and just not really noticing what she was intaking. Whereas here, she's still living her life, but she looks so much better, right? Um, Wrong advice or wrong coach. Yeah, maybe you've been given the wrong advice by somebody, or you've had a coach before and that coach wasn't that suited to you. Just like Chantel was, and she is a mum of two as well. So can be done. Right, that's enough of that. Introducing my foolproof formula, almost. So this is where you'll need your pen and paper. If you can just put I don't know, the word formula in the chat box, that would be good. It's on the screen, so you don't know how to spell it. It's there. Just so I know that you're awake and alive and you're not bored. That's great. Cool. All right. So step number one, pretty straightforward. This here, we're going to look at this in a second, but nutrition, how to. So this I'm going to put into your chat box in 1 second, actually. Give me 1 second. Just go. I'll do you a favor and put this in. So this is the calculator I use to get me a baseline. What I'll do, I'll just pause for a second while I'm explaining, but if you could just copy that and paste it or open it in Safari or save it somewhere while I'm talking, that would be great. I'll give you a few seconds and then I'm going to explain what I do, because obviously it's not just using the computer to figure it out. There's a little bit more to it, but if you were to look at it, can you see what it's asking me for? Can you just put the word yes if you can see all these things that it's asking me for? So this calculator is a computer, and there's a lot of them around. It's just one that I've used for years, and it's very accurate. And obviously, I put a little bit of an experienced head in there as well. But it gives me a baseline of how many calories that a client would go on. If they're a new client and I don't know anything about them and they just give me all these information, when you start with me, there's a form to fill out and it gives me all this information. So you'll tell me. So somebody's calorie allowance is based on their age, their gender, their height, their weight, how much exercise we do. There's also other things to consider, like um, your movement outside of the gym, whether or not you've got a health condition like endometriosis or hypothyroidism, which I've got clients with both of those conditions. There's just different things to consider. But this is the calculator I use. So if it was you lot, at the end of this call, you could go figure it out and then just try the number that it gives you to see how accurate it is. Some of you may already be tracking on MyFitnessPal or NutriCheck or something, so you might not need this, but this is the site that I use. Does that make sense? Yeah, just put the number 7 in the chat box for me. That would be great, so that I know I can move in. So that's step number 1. That's what I do with clients. Cool, cool, cool. Number 2 is, yeah, so you can use a different type of app if you want, but this is the best one I think on the market. But you can use any one you want. The point of it, if you don't know, is I don't know how many calories are in the food I'm consuming because I'm not that smart. So I'm going to use this computer to tell me. So it will help me eat the right amount of calories and not overeat so I can lose some body fat. This was a photo shoot I did a number of years ago, and this is my sort of, this unfortunately is not what I look like now, but this is how lean I got. And I use this app, MyFitnessPal, to get me in this position. There's a bit of a setup because it will ask you the things that calculator did before, like your age and your gender and how much weight you want to lose and stuff. So you could pause now and just go to your Play Store and download the app, or you can just write it for later on and do it in a bit. But that is my second 5 sort of top tips. Use a calculator to help. Once you get used to it, it's not that bad. And tracking your food in one of these apps isn't a forever thing. It's just something that you'll do to learn more about your intake and to learn more about your body's energy balance. And then at some point, like right now, I might not need to use it. But if I've got another photo shoot coming up in 15 weeks, guess what I'm doing? I'm using this. I'm going to recalculate using that calculator calorie, the link I sent you before, and then I'm going to use this. And then the first couple of weeks is just trialing out, making sure that I lose weight. All making sense? Cool. Just put the word nutrition in the chat box, and I know that you are listening. Cool. We're still on nutrition, by the way. This is the third step or the third process. Protein, how much should I eat each day? So it's going to vary, isn't it? The same as your calorie intake for if we're different sizes and different shapes and we have different energy levels and such and different activity levels. So I put at the bottom here 2 different calculations. One is the lower end and one is probably the higher end. If you're not very experienced with training, either one of these two or anywhere in between is going to be okay. So if you put 1.5 times your body weight in kilograms into a calculator, it's going to give you an amount, like a number. That number will be the amount of grams of protein that you will eat per day as a minimum. If you aren't already doing that, that's where you need to start at 1.5 grams per each kilogram body weight. And then obviously if you've got MyFitnessPal, don't know if you can see these pictures here, but it says there protein, carbohydrates, fats. So this app helps you track your amount of protein. So if you decide to do this tomorrow and you track all your food that you normally eat, and it says you should be eating 112 grams of protein and you're on 78, you know you've got some work to do the next few days to eat more protein. But be aware when you eat more protein, your calories go up. Cool. Just put the word protein in so I know. And remember, ladies, just write some questions down. If anyone needs a break for a few seconds, I can just slow down and you can write some questions down. Cool. Was that say you are what you eat? I don't remember eating anxiety and back pain. That's funny. Cool. All right. Step 4, the programming side of it. How do I decide what type of program, what style of program, how many times I'm going to work? The way that you train is normally look at your diary and how many times can you get to the gym. If you've got kids, for example, and you can only train twice a week and you do it at home, you may have to do X. If you can train 4 times a week, you may need to spread it out, but you might need to do X. So here's some good examples of what to do. Why don't you just put in the chat box the amount of days you already train or are possible to train or are thinking about training if you haven't started yet? Just put the number in, like 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, and I'll just maybe use 4, 5. Good. One more. Okay, so 4 or 5. So, all right, great. Cool. All right, so quite high. That's great. So if you, by the way, if you train 4 or 5 times a week and something happens and you're only able to train twice a week, you can just do what it is I said on this list. Does that make sense? So let's just go through it. If you were to train just twice a week, I think doing a full body, which means you train your glutes, your hamstrings, your legs, your upper body, pushing and pulling, the compound lifts. If you don't know what compounds are, write that word down. I'll answer it for you afterwards. Um, I would do the same workout for about an hour twice a week. That's probably what I would do, just to cover all the bases. I might put a little bit of variety in there, like change the handle for the pull down or whatever, occasionally. If we were going to do three, I would do full body again, but I'd program 3 different workouts with full body movements in. So I'd be doing 3 different workouts with different exercises, but hitting the same muscle group. So for example, a squat and a sumo squat hit relatively the same area, but different area of that area. Does that make sense? So they're hitting your legs, but it's going to hit different part of your legs. So I do 3 different. Okay. Making sense so far? Just put the word yes in there so I can see. And then if you're going to do 4, which I think some of you do, personally, I would do 2 upper body workouts and 2 lower body workouts. By the way, none of this includes your CV, whether it be steady state or your HIIT or whatever you're doing, but this is just gym-based workouts because that's predominantly what I coach. So 2 upper and 2 lower, but it may be 2 different upper body workouts and 2 different lower body workouts. So very similar to what I just said a second ago with the 3, where you have different workouts, but it's all of your body. This is just predominantly upper body on 2 different workouts and then lower body on 2 different workouts. So all you're doing when you're increasing the amount of volume training is increasing the intensity hitting in that area. So you can put more into it and get more out of it. There's less recovery. And then you just crack on with it again. Does that make sense? You might do upper lower day off, upper lower day off, upper lower day off, for example. Or sorry, upper 1, lower 1 day off, upper 2, lower 2 day off, something like that. Not always the case, by the way, because something will come up and you've got Sarah's birthday and whatever. So, wherever Sarah is, by the way, sorry, Sarah. Hi, Sarah. You're right. Sorry, I was using Sarah as an example. I'm sorry. It was the first name that came to my head. Sorry. All right, 5 plus. Yeah, the split, sometimes called the bro split. It's where people do they do chests in one day, they do back in one day, they do legs in one day. So all you're doing here as you go from 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 plus is you're just separating your body parts so you can work them more intensely. People that work 5 or 6 days a week they tend to only have one day off. So you might have like back and biceps, chest and triceps, legs, shoulders and abs. And then you might not even have a day off. You might go straight into the first one again, chest, and then you repeat back and biceps. Then you have a day off. Then you do legs, and you know what I mean. So you're always hitting, and you're only having 3 days recovery before 3 or 4 days recovery. Then you hit it again, but you hit it more intense because you've got only that one body part to hit, or 2 body parts to hit. Does that make sense? Now, if you've got like classes going on, it's a little bit different, but this is how I would structure your gym. Does that make sense? So if you've got classes going on, I think 1 or 2 of you do, just write down some questions based about that and I'll answer it afterwards. Is that okay? Cool. Just put step 4 in the chat box so I know that you're all live. And then step 5 is the scheduling. So, calendar/diary. Who's got an electric diary or a paper one? Just put electric or paper, please. If you've got paper, I'm kicking you off the call. I'm only kidding. I'm not. I'm not. Oh my God. Paper. Who's the third one? About yeah, just leave. No, only kidding. So here's a little bit of let's just go through it one. Oh my God, you're all on paper. Okay, what year is it, by the way? Anyway, here's what I'll say. I transitioned from a paper diary a number of years ago to an online diary, and it works extremely well for me. It works way better than I ever thought it did because a lot of my work is now online, and I can share stuff with people. I can book people in, and I'm on my phone all the time. The issue I had with my paper diary was I was forgetting to take it places. And I was like, oh, I'll text you later. Well, this is with me all the time. Like it's there, isn't it? All the time. Like it's, I just think there's more functions and it's easier, I think, to keep track of. If you don't want to do online calendar, that's fine. But I recommend at some stage you kind of just break through it. If you're stuck, by the way, and you want to go over it, I'll tell you the best ones to do. I have Google Calendar. You can see the picture here. This is Google Calendar. Um, yeah, so online calendar is more effective, I think. Lists, yeah, scheduling. I have a list every time. Uh, every time I go to bed, before I go to bed, I write a list a lot of the times for the next day. So then when I wake up, I don't have to think about it. If I wake up late, I don't have to stress about it. It's just there. It's on this, like this pad here. It's got list upon list upon lists. And all I do is tick it off because when I tick stuff off, it makes me feel like I've accomplished something and my stress levels go down. So that is part of scheduling. Taking the time to go through your diary, whether it be paper or electric, will take you about 10 or 20 minutes. And I'm just going to go and give you some tips now. If you look at this picture, I don't know how well you can see that. Can you all see, can you just put yes or no if you can see the picture? You don't have to see what is written on it. I'll tell you. It's just the yellow circles and just the burgundy kind of colors. That's great. So this is a screenshot of my Google Calendar diary. Um, if you can see this one here, if you can't, it doesn't matter. It says working from home and it's blocked out. So Tuesday between like 9 and 12, blocked out. Guess what I don't do? I don't go to Aldi. I don't go to any shops. I don't see my friends. Guess what I'm doing? Working from home from 9 till 12 because it's in my diary. It's there. Yeah. You might get the odd person in this slot getting a phone call. One of you may have had a phone call on a Tuesday morning. It was in this working from home slot. Can you see this? I mentioned it at the start of the call. What did I say? 2 o'clock. Training Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This is an old picture and it's still the same. Guess what I do at 2 till 3:30? I train. Guess what I don't do? Anything else. Nothing else gets put in there because it's in my diary. Look, can you see this? That's a barber's appointment. It's in. It's in my diary. Guess what I'm not doing? I'm not booking a call with any of you lot because I've got an appointment I'm going to. I'm not going to miss it. It's in my diary. I can't miss it. I've never missed a haircut. Look, it looks great. So there you go. And also, this was it was a while back with the workshop. There's an old workshop that I did similar to this. It was at Friday at 6 o'clock, 6 till 7. Guess what I didn't do? Guess what I did? The workshop. So basically, what I've done is put things in that are non-negotiable for me. Sometimes they change because if I'm go away, I can't do these things on a Friday. I have to do them I have to do them on a different day. If by chance I had to cover some sessions on the Tuesday, when was half term? 2 weeks ago. So I actually did 8 till 10:45 at home, and then at 11 till 12 or 11 till 1, I was working at the gym. So I modified it for that week. This week it's back to normal again. What I suggest you do is you look at your diary, and it's always easier to see it on a page a day, I think. Sorry, a whole week's view like this. So if you had an online, you can view it on a daily or 3 day or a week. When I look at it like this, I can look at all this space here. Nobody can book in here because this is my day off and this is my time to do food prep and stuff and see friends and whatever. And I've got gaps here. But occasionally I might say to this person or this appointment, can I move you here? Yeah, yeah, of course. Now it frees up loads of time here. And all I did was just move that one person. Now, your diary might be a bit different to this because you might work for somebody else. So you might have to be at work at 9 and you finish a certain time. But I guarantee if you start putting like gym there and there and there, if you're looking at this every day, you'll start doing it. So I'd take the time to go through it. Okay. Those are my top tips. So go online if you haven't already, because I find it a lot easier. And everyone that I've done this with has gone, ugh, and then done it, and they're like, actually, it's quite easy. Um, Lists, if you're not already ticking a list off with things to do it the night before, and then you've got it in the morning, and then taking 10 to 20 minutes. The first time I ever did this, by the way, and went paper to online, it took me a little bit, it took me 35 minutes. I remember it, but it was just getting it set up and then going through it. I do this every maybe 3 to 6 months myself, and I just go, why am I so busy? It normally starts with, why am I so tired? Oh, because I'm really busy. Why am I so busy? Oh, because you've not managed this. Right, we'll move these appointments over there. That gives you 3 hours here. And don't book anyone on a Saturday morning. Just have the day off. Okay, cool. Done. I won't do that anymore. Then it just resets and then within that week or two, I'm like, why don't I do this sooner? Okay, cool. Everyone okay with that? Just put the word diary in the chat box for me so I know. Cool. Just very quickly, for anyone on this call, if you message me the word offer on Instagram, do you all follow me, by the way? Just put the word follow if you do. I think you all do. I think that may be where I found most of you or connected with you all. I can't remember. Cool. That's good. Yeah, if you message me the word offer and you've considered working with me, there is an offer for anyone that does these workshops, which I won't go into now, but that's what you need to do if you want to have another chat. Here's what you could do. You could do nothing and then you might stay the same, especially if you've been struggling recently or you've hit a bit of a plateau, which some of those people in the earlier pictures did. Um, you've got the knowledge now to try this on your own. That's number two, because I just gave you all, right? I gave you the how to work out your calories, how to diary management, well, how to work out your protein intake. You know how to do all that now, right? So you could just, and how to structure your workouts. You could have a go. Or you can book a call with me. So you can message me with the word call on Instagram if you just want to. We've all had a call, haven't we? And I don't know if we've got catch-up calls booked. If we have, then don't worry about it. But if we haven't, just and you want to speak again, let me know. Um, good. That was pretty easy, wasn't it? No one's put question in here. So if you could put the word question in the box, if you've got a question, then I can just ask you to unmute and you can just ask me the question. That's the simplest way to do it. I do this with my clients in the coaching call. So I just go to them one at a time and they ask me the questions. So if no one's got any questions, I don't believe you've not got questions. Surely someone's got a question. If you haven't, no one got a question. So you're all clued up now and you know what to do and you're all perfect. Oh, yeah, great, cool. I've done a great job tonight. Well done. So has anyone got any questions about anything else? Maybe, if not, I might just pick on you. All right, Sarah, why don't you unmute? Because I've already said your name.
Hello.
You know what it is? I think everyone's got questions and no one wants to go first. I didn't think of that.
Okay.
If you've got a question,
Um,
let me know. If not, I've got some questions for you.
okay. I have no questions,
Oh, okay.
but I found it really informative.
That's good.
Um, as you know, obviously with the work that I do, I'm very organized.
Do you like a
So
list?
I love a list. I have a daily list. I do love a paper diary, but it works with work, and I just annotate in it and I tick stuff off. I love it. I love ticks.
Yeah.
Um, I'm, s- you know me, I'm setting a routine as well with my classes. I like to try something different. I like
Mm,
to add things in at home where I can. I think
mm,
when we last spoke, when I'm cooking, I'll think, right, what can I do while that's cooking for 20 minutes? Go and get the weights, stand in front of the mirror, do a few squats, get some music going. And before you know it, you've done another exercise, haven't you? Another
yeah.
routine.
Yeah.
So,
Good.
um, for me, the biggest learning curve was changing my mindset.
Mm,
I feel that I'm good at going to the gym. I think my flaws were my work routine and diet, finding the time to cook, plan, prep, and eat
mm,
properly instead
mm,
of
mm.
coming home at lunch, grabbing a coffee and just grazing out the fridge. Um,
We've all been
so
there.
yeah, exactly. And I feel like I've got to a happy medium now where I'm planning, I'm getting organized, I'm doing my meal preps. I think the biggest thing when we last spoke was I'm eating more, I'm eating better things, I'm eating more fruit and veg, but I was still losing a couple of pounds.
Hmm.
So now for me, it's using those apps to tweak the right volume of calories, the right protein to maintain consistency.
Sorry, so are you trying to not lose any more weight?
Yeah, so I want to
Yeah.
remain. But I think the biggest thing for me is I just want to focus on my target areas, which is my
Yeah.
legs. I just want to tone them a little bit more.
Yeah.
They've always, to me, have been a challenge,
Yeah.
but I'm sure someone looking at me would say, "What's your problem?"
Yeah, yeah.
There's nothing
I
wrong
remember
with
you
him.
saying there's two things in that. The first of all, the calculator the link that I sent you in the chat box will
Yeah,
when you do the calculation, it will tell you how many calories roughly to eat to stay in maintenance, which is where you don't lose any weight.
yeah,
So
okay,
that's probably what you want to consider if you haven't already. And then the
yeah,
training aspect of it, I don't even know if I gave you this information when we spoke, but doing a leg workout or two different leg workouts in the gym
yeah,
away from your classes where you just
yeah,
focus on that area. I would even personally, if it was me, if I wanted to change something, I'd be dropping some of the stuff that I enjoy just to get this
yeah.
result and then pick it back up again at later. So you might, if you're
Okay.
training 5 times, you could drop maybe one of those or two of those and then
Hmm.
change it for a specific leg workout.
Yeah, okay.
That makes sense. Cool. What was your other
Hmm.
question?
Um, that was it really. I think the main
Right.
purpose for me today on the call was about the calories and just
Mhm.
trying to get that balance of portion size control.
Mm. Mhm. Yeah, which the calculator and the apps will help you.
Yeah,
I'm terrible at maths, and I'm not the sort of person that's going to look at a packet and go, "How many calories?" Like I want to scan it and I want it to tell me, and I want to get on with my life. Like
yeah.
I've not got the energy for. I can do it, and I will do it if I need to get very specific. But especially at the
Mm,
beginning, it's nice just to be able to, like, we've got this technology to get ahead. So why don't we just use it for everything? Like
yeah.
I've even started. Asking Chat AI for like, this is what calories I'm on, this is what protein, carbs, and fats I need. Can you give me some recipe ideas? Can you give me 50, like 25 chicken and 25 beef? And it will just give me, and I'll be like, oh, can you now change it and give me 50 that will take me 20 minutes or less? And it goes bing, and
Mm,
it just gives you. So you're utilizing AI and apps and stuff even more now. And why not? It's just learning it, isn't it? That's
mm,
it. And picking the right one. But there's a lot of apps that are kind of the same. Like I mentioned, NutriTrek. There's one on my phone because I got thrown out of MyFitnessPal. MyNetDiary, which is the one I'm using at the minute, it's just the same as MyFitnessPal. Um,
oh, okay.
so there's loads of them that do the same thing, and they all try to get you to pay. You don't need to
Mm,
pay. You just need to do it for a bit. Then I'll go through
okay.
periods of the year of not tracking. Sorry, what was the question, Sarah?
Um, we're just talking about the apps and calories and things.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the apps and AI will just there's I don't know why anyone's not using it to get ahead with their fitness. Like if you've got an illness as well and you're struggling to lose weight, just ask it. This is the medication I'm on. Why am I not losing weight? And it will say, oh, it could be X, Y, Z. It's only what I
Right,
do when
okay.
I hear about a new thing to
Mm,
research it. It's like the quickest way to get some research now.
mm,
So yeah. Cool. Okay. Can you, if we done? You okay?
yeah, yeah, I'm
All
good.
right, let's mute. I'm gonna go to, sorry if I pronounce this wrong again. Is it Adesi? Just tell me. I'm sorry. You said it like a few days ago and I've forgotten either. Let's go.
Sorry, I'm looking for the unmute
Hello.
button.
How are you? Okay.
I'm fine, and you?
Yes, did I pronounce that right?
Yes, you did.
Good. Good, good, good. How can I help? What's your questions for me if you have any?
Um, when you made mention of the protein intake and the dairy intake, so I wasn't so clear in that part.
Hmm.
Mm.
So protein intake, do you mean, let me share my screen again. Do you mean the calculation of how to calculate how much you should be on? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Can you see the screen, by the way? Sorry.
Yes, I can.
Let me go back. Where are we? I'm sorry, one sec. It's on here. Just be easier to see, won't it? Where are we? I'm sorry, one sec, one sec, one sec. Yes, here we go. All right, so let's start with this bit here where it says 1.5. So in a calculator,
Mm-hmm.
you would weigh yourself and you've got your body weight in kilograms. That's the first thing. So let's say it's I don't know. I'm not going to be able to do it in my head anyway, but let's say it's X, your body weight is X, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
75, 80, whatever. You're just going to times that number by 1.5. Okay.
Okay.
When you
Okay.
times it by 1.5, it gives you a number. It equals X. That is the number of grams of protein you should be consuming per day as a minimum, as a guideline. So,
Okay.
okay. Did
All
that
right.
answer your question?
Is it same with the second one, which is 1.8?
So 1.8, anywhere between those two numbers is good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but this is the lower end, which is
Oh,
easier to attain. So if you've never done
okay.
it before, or you just traditionally have a low protein intake, which loads of ladies do that I work with before they come onto the program, this is
Mm-hmm.
where I'd start somebody. So if you were a client of mine, this is where we'd start at 1.5. And
All
then
right.
0.8 is what we work up to in a few weeks. And then
Oh,
over that if we need to at a later date. So I'd start with this. If you've never tracked your protein intake before, that's where I'd start with that number. The
okay.
best thing to do is figure out that number,
Mm-hmm.
then use the app like MyFitnessPal, for example, and to just track your nutrition for a few days without changing it to see how far away you are from that number that you just calculated on this.
Okay.
So let's say it comes out at 115 grams that you should be eating, and then
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow you track and you're only eating 78, you know you've got
Mm-hmm.
to increase your protein somewhere.
Okay.
Something like, well, I never eat breakfast. I always just, well, now you can have a protein shake for breakfast, and that'll get you from 75 to 105 or whatever.
Okay.
Be closer to where you need to be. Does that make sense? Does
Yeah.
that answer your question?
Yes. Thank
Sorry,
you.
what was your other question? I think you asked me too.
That's the only question I asked.
Okay.
Yes.
And when we had our chat, was it 2 weeks ago now? I can't remember.
That was last week.
Last week. How have
Yeah.
you been getting on with it? I can't remember what it is that I gave you some takeaways. Uh, body weight, resistance weight, so the gym, getting
Yeah.
out more food for more energy and your calories. How have you got on with those stuff that
Um,
notebook, hey, who knew? Yeah, how have you been getting on with the things that I recommended? Have you started okay? Um have you
I've
been
I've started. I went to the gym today, like you advised. The last time I went was on Saturday, and I came back. I was so sore, you know.
not my fault. I'm sorry. My fault.
You know, I getting down from the staircase was a little bit difficult for me. So, but today
Do
yeah, I'm much better today than the last time.
what did you do out of these, if any? Did you do any of the
I repeated the same thing I did the last time. So,
Okay. Yeah,
yeah,
so you're only training maybe twice a week or you're very new. That's repeating it is
yes,
okay. Until
yes,
you get bored, of course.
yeah.
Okay, cool. And what was your other question?
Mm, I think you've answered all.
Great. Okay.
And yeah, you've answered all.
Wonderful. So let's mute and I'm going to go to Kaylee. Hello,
Hiya.
Kaylee.
Hi.
I feel like I spoke to you quite a few weeks ago now.
It wasn't, I think it was just over a week ago when you forgot about me.
I'm
Um,
sorry. I need to tell everyone.
yeah.
I
But
did
no,
forget about you. Something happened on site and I forgot to call you. And I called you an hour, 45 minutes later,
something like that. After I got
apologizing more than I've ever apologized to anyone because I never miss calls because guess what? It's in my diary. Guess what I didn't do? Put it in my diary. Shock. Anyway, shut up. Ask me a question.
I don't have any questions. As you know, things have been going on here, so
Mm.
that's taken my mind away quite a little bit since we've last spoken. Mum's been visiting me, and then I went over to hers for the weekend. So things have kind of fallen by the wayside for the last week or so, I must admit. But I'm just giving myself a bit of time to lean into it, but not let it overtake completely.
Go slow. Fit in what you can. What was your biggest takeaway from the uh, workshop?
It was covering stuff that we've already spoken about, a lot of it, wasn't it? But for me, it's the protein that I am struggling
Mm.
with being able to intake the quantity that I need to have. That is probably my biggest area of struggling.
My next tip for you would be there's a number that you're supposed to have in
Mhm.
brackets, and there's a number you're hitting quite easily at the minute, or how there's got to be a number in between the two, right?
Yeah, so I think my recommended is around 160 based on that formula, 160 grams.
Mm.
And
It's
the,
high.
the last week or so, I've been lucky to hit 100.
Yeah, I would
Uh,
probably look to get to 100 for a week
mhm.
and never below it, and then maybe try and hit anywhere between 115 and 130 and just keep it there.
Okay,
Because 160 is a lot.
yeah, but then I'm heavier, aren't I? So it makes sense as to
Yeah.
why it is.
And it
It is
would, you know,
high.
obviously there's loads of benefits of eating the right amount of protein, especially when you're dieting, because it fills you up so you don't snack as much.
Yeah,
And obviously, if you're lifting weights and training, you're going to get stronger and be leaner. But um, yeah, there's always a go between. I always say, like, I think I've done a podcast episode on this. There's a baseline of everything. So whether it be steps or training or protein, there's always a baseline of what you're doing, and there's always an optimal of what you should be doing, and there's
mhm.
always an in between. So just aim for the in between.
Yeah,
When you hit the in between, that's your new baseline. So do it again between
yeah,
the optimal
yeah.
and the baseline. You'll just get shorter. You'll do it from there, then you'll do it from
Mhm.
there. Do you know what I mean? It's just doing. There's no time restraint on how quick you need to get to 160 grams of protein. So if we know 160 is optimal for you, we can take the next 2 months to do it.
Mhm.
Like, you'd have to do it tomorrow. So that's mental. If you're only hitting 90 grams now, you're almost hitting like 80% more by
And
tomorrow.
I
It's going
was
to be.
thinking as well, I don't know if this is the right way to look at it, but as my weight carries on coming down, that figure will come down anyway, won't it? Like, or would it still be better to stick with the higher amount of protein?
I would
Can you have too
recalculate
much?
every so often. Yeah, you use the calculator and that formula 1.5 to 1.8. You can just when you've lost a considerable amount of weight, you want to recalculate because your body needs less energy. And
Yeah,
you might be eating too. Sometimes you stay on that number because you think it's the number that's made you lose all that weight.
yeah,
When you get lighter, the number's too much. Your body's
yeah,
got too much going in, so you just have to recalculate. But
yeah.
again, just do it in. If you were to calculate and you know where you're at, you just go in between as
Hmm.
a first sort of step and see what happens. And there was
Cool.
something on here. One of these slides says like the lack of trial and error or lack of
Yeah,
patience. I
yeah,
think people just go, I only know one thing, it doesn't work anymore, right? I'm going to suck it off, rather than just go, well, it's like a little science experiment, isn't it? If you remember back in high school, um, you do a science experiment, you have like the formulas and what works, and then in the end you have an analysis, and then you write this thing like, if I'm going to do this again to get a better result, I'm going to change X. You
mm,
just do that with your own nutrition and protein and stuff. You just don't need to write out a very boring
how-
thing in a school book. You're just going to
yeah,
go, well, next time I'll try this. Okay, cool. When am I doing it? In 3 weeks' time. All right, let's go.
yeah. And that makes sense as well, because like I said to you when we last spoke, I've upped my calories to allow for extra protein, and it's worked beneficially. So
Yeah.
that
Right.
is literally proof that keeping it low doesn't necessarily yield results.
Yeah, there's only so much time that you're really meant to be in a deficit, but it's different for all of us. Your body needs a bit of a rest every so
Mhm.
often. The clients that I've got tend to have natural breaks anyway. Excuse me. Things like Christmas, you'll have a week off.
Yeah,
If you're going away, you probably consume a few more calories and stuff. So if you've got a weekend away or a birthday um, but if you're dieting hard aggressively for a long time, your body just needs a rest. It will just stop working after a while.
mm,
But you can work on other stuff. You might go, I'm gonna have a break for 2 weeks, but I'm gonna try and get a PB on squats, or
yeah,
I'm gonna try and do, just get better at these other things. I'm gonna work on my flexibility and lift it, light, whatever. You can just figure it out. Like I say, there's no time restraint to get the result.
yeah.
unless you've got
I
Photoshop.
need to reprogram as well is there is no time restraint.
Sorry, Kaylee, what was that?
I was just saying, I think that is something that I need to reprogram in my own mind, is not looking at it in terms of time restraints, because I've wanted to do everything as quickly as possible. But
Yeah,
why?
I guess you think that the end result will give you a certain feeling and you want it now, or a
Mm,
certain level of confidence or a certain ability, and you kind of just want it now.
mm,
But we kind of forget the process is part of it. If you just click your fingers tomorrow and you were the size and shape you wanted to be, you wouldn't appreciate it. You'd probably go slightly backwards anyway. Whereas you've earned it, you kind of think, I've earned this. I know how to keep the weight off now. I'm never going to go back to the size I was because I don't want to feel that way anymore. You kind of, it's part of the process and it
yeah,
sticks in you for longer. Then
yeah,
you
that
stay
makes
more consistent, then your results are better.
sense.
So there's some people that will coach you like, just do everything I say because I want the social proof on my Instagram, which is
Yeah, it's
great
not.
for temporarily, but you don't really learn anything. So this is why I do these workshops and I do like free challenges and all my content on YouTube and Spotify and stuff is all based around you. It's all based around longevity because I've been doing this a long time, so I kind of know what works. And there are people out there that need long-term help, not
Mhm.
just a quick like. There is quick fixes out there, but and we've probably all done them. But yeah, I just think it's a nicer way. And if you can get it early enough, you can carry it on for the next 10 years. You're going to be in a better, healthier physical and mental state for all that period. Then why
Yeah.
aren't you already doing it? Why aren't you taking the time? Like if you feel like you deserve the result, then work on it and just accept a bit of help along the way, I guess. Like this.
Do you know,
Cool.
that's not too dissimilar from what I would tell people at my work for what I do. So yeah, that's kind of been a little light bulb there.
There you go. Good. Bloody good, Anna. No, I'm only kidding.
Yeah.
Cool. What was your other question?
I don't have another question.
Cool. I think that's it. Does anyone else have anything else before we go? I've got like two, I've got all night really if you want, but I've got sleep to go and do and stuff. If you've got no other questions, just pop in the chat box for me the word goodbye. That would be great. And I'm just gonna, yeah, don't forget if you are interested in learning about the offer, just message me with the word offer, and it's just a quick call. I'll book you in as soon as possible for that. And thanks for listening. That's it. Wave goodbye. I'll see you all later. Thanks, girls. See you later. Oh no, where is it? Cool. Stop sharing.